And of course,
this is a little outdated.
Over
10 years. Oh, you know. Oh, 6. So that's a little outdated.
What we have in our unlimited modified tractor is 4 what we call automotive type V8s. You won't find these engines in any automobile made today or ever made. These are pretty much a thoroughbred racing engine. Each engine will dyno out at approximately 2,800 to 3,000 horsepower.
There are 2 cats in here.
They run on straight methanol for fuel. They're supercharged.
Methanol. Is it dangerous?
For what we're
Methanol?
doing with a supercharger, we're taking atmospheric pressure and compressing it. In other words, Mother Nature gives us 14 pounds per square inch. This takes that and makes it 45 pounds per square inch and forces the fuel air mixture into the cylinder, creates more cylinder pressure, which makes more horsepower.
Over 3 times the air pressure means over 3 times as much oxygen available for combustion. As they line up for the full pull, these monsters of the track pack more than 12,000 horsepower. What kind of immovable object can meet this irresistible force? Enter the tractor pull sled.
When a tractor pull or when the pulling vehicle starts pulling, we have a weight box here that is loaded with weight. And as the vehicle starts to move, this drives the weight box forward. As this comes forward, the further down the track we go, it hits a pair of trigger switches here that drops the back of the pan to start that. As the box goes forward, gets to the top of the box, we have a push down that goes off at the back of the pan to transfer 100% of the weight of our sled to stop that momentum that they have going.
That's stupid.
The entire 60,000 pounds of weight is on the pan, and that pan is digging into the ground. Although the sled has its own driver, the weight box slides automatically on its own track.
Oh.
So everyone gets equal abuse during the pull. This sport may use engines that generate thousands of horsepower, but its origins go straight back to the horse.
Tractor pulling's origins came from the 1920s, late 20s, when farmers were actually starting to get horses, and they would have these horse pulls. Who had the strongest horse? Then along came tractors. Who had the strongest tractors? And then in 1969, NTPA was formed out of a group of several states wanting to uniform the rules so that people could go from county to county, state to state, nationwide to go pulling in various divisions.
15 unlimited modified tractors run in the final event. There's a method to this madness.
You have to have the front end off the ground because you want all the weight on the tractor transferring to the rear tires. You don't want the front end come standing way up straight, but you don't want it tagged to the ground either. Plus, transfer as much weight off the sled onto the rear tires as possible. In the unlimited class, we weigh 7,900 pounds. And we're pulling a sled that probably weighs 60,000 pounds. So it's quite a tug of war.
The only reason the guys on the back can sled is to drive it back when they done.
Will the victor be the V8 powered Stampede?
But it's so neat looking.
Or Indian Outlaw with its turbines? Yeah. Or maybe Money Pit with the World War II Allison engines? As they line up to connect to the sled, it all comes down to strength, ingenuity,
whoa,
and a little luck.
Oh.
Indian Outlaw has a bad run and nearly goes off the track.
Whoa.
Money Pit comes close. Stampede makes its bid. But American Thunder, with 5 Chevy 8 engines, takes the course record at 311 feet. Today, American Thunder, owned by Bill Boreas, is the world's strongest tractor.
I'm a competitive guy, you like that win. If I was hauling around a loser, I'd probably quit. But as long as we keep winning, we'll keep going.
But he better watch out. His competitors will be back, more powerful than ever, trying to claim the title of the world's strongest.
It's just an adrenaline rush. It's something that is
Also, it depends what tractor you're driving too. Okay.
Engines, gears, and clutches may be thrilling and an assault on the senses.
Ooh.
But in the world of the strongest, there's a special material you can barely see that someday might protect you from a speeding bullet.
Spider web.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned.
That looks so neat.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of stress a material can withstand before tearing apart. And this is the strength we see every day with rope. Strong rope is made from synthetic or natural fiber. But there could be a whole new material to make the strongest rope in history. In fact, one of the strongest materials in the world is thinner than a human hair and probably resides in your backyard right now. Spider silk.
Spider silk
How strong is
an
it?
incredibly special class of materials. For one thing, if you just think about it from the perspective of a spider,
Step aside, car.
it's a material that spiders rely on to reproduce, to eat, to protect themselves from predators. It has so many remarkable mechanical properties.
Cheryl Hayashi hopes to replicate those mechanical properties.
Wow.
An expert in spider silk genetics, she leads a research team at the University of California, Riverside.
Right.
There's so many potential uses of spider silk. You could have spider silk being incorporated into ropes, and people are also interested in using spider silk for anti-ballistic purposes because spider silk can absorb a tremendous amount of energy.
What makes spider silk so unique is the combination of strength and its ability to stretch. And that comes in really handy for certain types of rope. This string is composed of hundreds of spider silk fibers and is over 3 years old. Not only has it maintained stretch, but it also constricts when it gets wet. Imagine a rope that tightens its hold with a simple spray of water. According to Hayashi, stretch, or extensibility, is integral to a major component of strength: toughness.
Spider silk is extremely tough. Now, toughness refers to the amount of energy that can be absorbed by a certain volume of material. And for fibers, toughness, you could think of it as coming from a combination of how strong a particular material is and also how far it can extend. If you could combine high strength with high extensibility, then there's a tremendous amount of energy
Nichols.
that can be absorbed before that material failed.
Spider silk has been measured to be 5 times stronger than steel. And some spider silk can stretch over 200% of its original length.
It's in this aspect of toughness that spider silk is really, really superior to almost all biological materials and really rivals or surpasses nearly all man-made materials.
There are over 39,000 species of spider, and each uses up to 7 different types of silk, depending on the job requirement. A web alone is built from 5 different types of silk. But one of the strongest types of spider silk is the dragline silk, or spider's lifeline. The most common way to study it is to conduct a procedure called forcible silking. The spider is actually sedated, then secured with tape under the microscope.
We're manually drawing silk from the spider. First, you anesthetize the spider so that you can manipulate them without hurting yourself or, more importantly, hurting the spider. You have them breathe in carbon dioxide for a few minutes, and then that knocks them out. And then we will tape them down with their spinnerets facing up. We can, pull on specific silk fibers, and we can collect them on a little spool.
Oh, that is neat.
Working
That's
with
so
spiders
stupid.
one at a time in the lab requires patience and a steady hand. But researchers are making progress in unraveling spider silk's tangled genetic web. In 1990, The first spider silk protein gene sequence was discovered by Ming Chu and Randy Lewis at the University of Wyoming. Yet there were hundreds, perhaps thousands, still to discover.
At this point, we know a lot about, or quite a bit about the genetics underlying the spider silk proteins, but how we can go from those proteins to a spool of spider silk, we're working on that.
Duplicating spider silk may be out of our reach today. No true rope of it exists yet, but there is a man-made fiber that makes rope of uncommon strength. It's called Spectra.
When Honeywell Spectra fiber was developed, it was a
well.
tremendous leap forward in strength. With this Spectra fiber, we could lift something that is around 100 to 120 pounds before the fiber actually breaks.